Hey guys, Tbull here. Today we gotta look at the Vlad for you. There's the Kidrev build. We're actually gonna be on the map Fault Line yet again. This time from the north though. So we've been demonstrating a lot from the south because the south is at an extreme disadvantage on this map. If the players, the randoms on your team play it like they usually do, then they concede all the advantage to the north. And this game will be demonstrating kind of in my mind how to win this consistently. Note the setup. We got our clump here and the northeast spawn pretty much one square away from each other. So we got a 6-ship combo here directly to the south of us, 3 ships. South center spawn, they're basically in their base to the southwest of the island. Almost always they'll abandon their responsibility to guard the middle, the lake area I call it, and they'll just sail west for reasons unknown, which usually throws the game. And then all the way to the west, 3v3 to start with, but eventually that will become very likely a 6v3 overload for the south. But we have a built-in 6v3 advantage here. You can see we already have that advantage. For the south to get that on their side, it takes a few minutes. That's the unbalanced nature of this map. Extremely poorly designed, but again, the south can mitigate the poor design if they play the center, the lake area. They just very rarely do. This match, they actually will have a Fletcher playing over here, which very nearly, throws a wrench in the plans. And if the south center plays the lake area, they can usually shut down our game plan, which is to kill these 3 ships directly to the south of us and then get on the base and either win via cap or pressure them and divide the forces. It's going to take, again, a few, 3 to 5 minutes for them to achieve an overload in the west. And by then you can usually be on the base, forcing them to abandon that overload and go back to defend. So it takes them 5 minutes to set up the play, and then they immediately have to go ahead and cancel the play because they have to go back and defend the base. That's the game plan on paper. And 9 out of 10 times, 19 out of 20 times, if played properly, the north should win as it's currently set up. So I'm not full bore going straight south. And again, you can do that, and often you can get away with it. The reason I kind of am holding back a little bit is because we knew we were getting spotted from the southwest, which suggests that the destroyer is playing the middle. There he is, the Fletcher, and that can cause problems. And he's actually going to take it to the Z-23 to the north of him. And then we got a Shima who ends up having a really strong game. He's going over there to support, but he doesn't chime with the guns. He's more trying to set up a torpedo strike. So we're shooting at the Fletcher, trying to help that guy out, the Z-23, because if he goes down and this Fletcher starts running amok, if he gets that Shima in a gunfight and kills him, we go down 2 destroyers. Now he controls the center, and the game plan is shut down completely. So we got to kill that guy. And note on the map, 2 of our 6 ships in this overload here, they're going all the way to the east. I would never suggest going over there. In domination mode, there's a base there. Yes, go there, capture the base. But in this game mode, there is no reason to go all the way to the east. These guys are going to do it this game. They do get a little bit lucky because red bails them out. They send the Alaska over there, which then they can counter the Alaska. But if red doesn't send these ships over there, we divide our forces. Now these guys have an even fight, and they could potentially win the slugfest. And keep in mind, if the south center is supporting like they're doing just a little bit this game, they can actually flip the script and win the game. So I don't like the play that they're dividing over there, but Alaska's going over there. That's going to bail them out by giving them something to do. And we're punishing the Alaska, kind of buttering him up for them and making it so they can win that fight. So that's kind of a misplan that Alaska's part, kind of bailing those guys out. Because again, if he stays in the middle and kind of dog piles on us, then we're in trouble. Note Z-23 is dead, and note the Fletcher's proximity to the Shima. I'm getting really nervous, or I should be. I'm getting nervous now because I'm looking at the map, but I'm missing it when I'm playing the game. Holy smokes, though. Look at this. We got a baker's dozen. I don't know what it's called. 15 Shima torps coming in here, and this guy kind of saves his own skin there by taking him out and he gonning that Fletcher. Because if that Fletcher closes in, takes out the Shima, now, even if he goes down, he's taken his destroyer, traded it for 2 destroyers in our team, cutting off our ability to scout, which would be an outstanding play. And if he happens to kill the Shima and the Z-23 and lives, then again, he controls the middle of the lake. Me and the other battleship to the north can't play this position. The game plan falls apart, and red wins this handily. So, kind of a lucky play. I don't necessarily recommend a Shima trying to deal with the Fletcher by just torping him, but got away with it there, and an outstanding turn of events. Now, there, Alaska, that was trying to go all the way to the west, he's noticing what's going on. He sees that blue's got a battleship directly in the middle of the match, or the map, and a centrally located battleship is extremely strong. It's like putting a queen in the middle of your chessboard. You got to get rid of it. You got to basically throw everything that you can at it and get it off of there. But so he's trying to counter us. He's shooting HE, though, is the problem. It's not going to do that much to us at this angle. I'm getting a little nervous there because he's not that far away from this Amagi. I don't want him to get spotted and get blown up there. But we're basically, this is the phase 2 of the plan. We've kind of cleared out the middle. Now we're pushing into the base, pressuring the base, forcing these guys. Again, they want to overload the west. They want to push through to our base. But once we get on their base, we're going to divide that force. Half of them should turn around, and then we can win those fights. So you can see all the way to the east, their destroyer got loose. We don't know where that guy is, but presumably he's still playing over there. They killed the Alaska, though. So all we got to do, kill this Amagi, and then basically just attack the base, force them to respond to us. Anytime you're forcing your opponent to respond to you, you're in control, and that's an advantage that you want to have all the time. You can see we're not taking any damage. This Amagi, he's trying to hit us in the hull, and an angled Vlad like this, not going to do any damage. So we piled up some damage there, and then the Shima got him with the torp, and look out, we're getting plane spotted. Ambush time. Yamato style. This is very dangerous, and I was like, oh, son of a, this was not ideal. We slammed on the brakes, turned in, dodged the salvo. Holy God, because if that thing tickles us in the side, that could be lights out. The Yamato could conceivably one-shot this thing. Any Russian battleship getting shot in the full broadside, very vulnerable to battleship AP for sure. But we're going to try and angle towards him. We also got this Alaska here. I might take a shot at him just because he's sitting there broadside, and I can't really deal with this Yamato. At this point in time, I'm like, oof, good counter by the Yamato. Good job coming back. Maybe I just screwed this up. Maybe I'm just too far forward. So I'm going to slam on the brakes, try and back up, get away from him, and then hope some of my guys to the north come down to support, or maybe the Shima, we can distract this Yamato long enough to get the Shima involved with the torpedoes. I'm also nervous for the Shima's sake because he's a half health guy, and we still got that destroyer on the loose, but there he is. Hidachi just killed the guy all the way to the northeast, so we know he's not really in the neighborhood yet. That lightens the threat to the Shimakaze, who does have torps in the water here, and I think it's the guy to the north of us. One of these battleships is actually going to chime in and finish this Yamato off. So Shima gets some damage, or gets the bulk of the damage. I get a little bit of damage trying to slow this guy down, and then one of our Yamatos finishes him off. So this is basically it. Now, once this Yamato's down, we're back to capturing the base or pressuring the base. I always talk about when we're playing capture the base, are we actually trying to win by capture the base? Usually not. I mean, sometimes you're forced to do that. It's more of a Hail Mary play if the game plan's gotten completely awry. But basically, we're on the base. They're not getting their passive 2 points every 5 seconds. We still will be as long as we keep them off our base. And we got guys defending the base up there, luckily. But we're recognizing what's going on. The destroyer is the scoring piece here. Alaska can spot me, reset me. The Vlad is not the one trying to capture the base, if you even conceive of the play as trying to capture the base. What I'm doing is getting as close to this guy as possible. Number one, the closer I get to him, the more likely he is to hit the hull as opposed to raining shells into the deck superstructure. So that helps my survivability. But I'm trying to get this Vlad in between me and the Alaska and the Shima, because Alaska's got the radar, of course. If he should recognize, once he hits me, he should see how many capture points are going down. We're losing a little bit of capture points here and there, but roughly that timer you saw there, it basically didn't reset at all. So he should be aware, if he's got the game awareness of a legendary player, legendary tier caliber player. he should know there's a destroyer on here. So he needs to get on this base, get in radar range of this thing, spot him via radar, and then reset him with the guns, or potentially even kill him would be much stronger. But Shima, I'd rather he come behind me. We don't need him to spot. He's got the torp strike down. Cool. Just go back to the north east of that cap where we just were when we were fighting the Yamato. That'd be a perfect position for him. But he's got the torps coming towards the Alaska, and I'm keeping an eye on the map, seeing he's dodging. I think he's got the sonar active to see those torps. Regardless, he's attempting to turn around here, and we're countering that. We're just going to go nose in on this guy. We're going to try and delete him with one salvo when he comes around the silent broadside. If he wants to angle, which he will end up doing, then we're going to attack his guns and conceivably even ram. I don't care about the Vlad here, and you can see on the map, there's nothing Red's got over here that we need to deal with. Once this Alaska's dead, that's all that really matters. So we're angled in here. He can't damage us with the AP if he ever loads it, even though he's still been shooting HE the whole game. There's Torp, so we know the Adachi's in the neighborhood. Aiming for the guns. This is basically a battleship v battleship fight, and in these close quarter instances, we aim for the guns, knocked one out there, and then the shells that miss go over and into the superstructure. Alaska's hull, we can bounce. I misspoke yesterday. Only the Yamato can pen that angled hull armor on the Alaska. So we definitely cannot do that. So kind of like a battleship, the battleship fight, usually you want to just try and disable the guns and then get any extra scoring into that superstructure. Blocks the torps, luckily, and now we get the reload. Hoping the Shima gets him with the torps, trying to knock out his engine with the guns, but the guy navigates the minefield of the torps. And my secondaries, come on, guys. I assume the whole time the secondaries are going to take that Alaska out. He lives, though. And so we're in trouble. We got two fires here. We're going down. We already know that. Again, it's inconsequential towards, vis-a-vis the outcome of this game. I want to kill this Alaska, though, because I'm hoping the Shima could kill the Udachi, and we need to get this radar out of the neighborhood to protect the Shima. So we go ahead and get that back turret on, kill him, and then we're going to let our crew off on the beach here because we're about to blow up, and that's fine. Just get on the dry land, guys. You did your job. The Shima's actually going to go down to the Udachi. That doesn't matter. We were on the base for 2-3 minutes, whatever it was. That was, dozens and dozens of points that our team built up from them not getting that passive points. When we're on the base, they don't get the points coming in. And that just drove up the score. And now note the time, too. We got 3 minutes left on the game clock. Udachi versus 3 battleships. The only way he can kill them is by torping them. He doesn't have enough time to get there, get the reload off, and sink all those guys. So that's the win right there. And that was a pretty well executed play. I didn't necessarily like the position of the guys playing the northeast. They got bailed out, though, by the Alaska going over there. And even the Udachi, had they managed to kill him, it would have been a major boon. But usually I don't ever want to send ships to the east unless it's domination mode. And then the guys in the northwest, they left their position just a smidge too early. But overall, they did a very good job. And that's basically the playbook. You want to concede that ground, and we do that from the southeast as well, playing the south side. Just go back into the base, but do it as slowly as possible. Make them take their time doing that. And they actually won that fight over there. And that was due to, number one, them playing it very well, and number two, us dividing that force by forcing the Yamato, forcing the Alaska, who, again, they spent the first part of the game going all the way to the west, then they had to go turn around, come back to defend the base. That's the pressure you want, and you want it, don't get in there too early. This is pretty good pacing on my part this game. We cleared out the middle first. You got to make sure that Sol center actually abandons their position. If they play the lake, you can't be that aggressive. It becomes a much more interesting match. But we cleared out the lake area, got on the base, and that's the gameplay right there. That's how you win 90% of the games from the north. If your team's kind of on the same page, more or less, northwest, we're kiting, defending, center, and northeast, pushing aggressively to the base. That's your win rate goes through the roof on this match, or on this map. So that's going to do it for that one, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. We got lots of World of Warships, and it's coming all the time for you. Questions, comments, leave them below. I'd love to hear from you guys, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.